sensuality, through a subtle play of concealment, through sheer layers or overt sexuality, through risque necklines and barely there slip-ons, created a new sense of feminine power on the catwalks. Lingerie, intimate wear, sleepwear and loungewear have all become part of the lexicon of designer collections of late, making the leap from underwear to outerwear. Gaining momentum over the past few seasons, in part as a reflection of society as a whole denying women the autonomy of their own bodies, women are regaining control and reclaiming their sexual superiority in all its forms. Just as Dolce and Gabbana did throughout the 1990s era. Compared to some other fashion houses, Dolce & Gabbana is a relative newcomer to the scene. Founded in 1985, the brand debuted on the fashion scene and is still going strong. Thanks to their passion for infusing Italian culture into all of their designs, Dolce & Gabbana's history includes a unique style that resonates with fashion lovers around the world. But what is that style about? Domenico Dolce was born near Palermo, Sicily, into a family that owned a clothing business. Domenico worked in the family business since childhood, learning fashion and how to make customers happy. Stefano Gabbana was born at the other end of Italy, near Milan. His first love was art, and at first he studied graphics. Later he turned to his new passion, fashion. The duo first met when they were both design assistants in the same workplace. They began to collaborate on ideas and design together. A short time later, the Dolce & Gabbana brand was launched. Their first show was in Milan in 1985. The first Dolce & Gabbana collection was called Real Women, and it was an accurate reflection of their work. Inspired by Real Women and the Italian legacy of Domenico Dolce, their fourth collection is when the fashion world really started to take notice. The duo was inspired by images from 1940s Italian cinema, and that muse has stayed with them throughout Dolce & Gabbana's history. The 1990s saw a period of tremendous growth in the history of their history. They opened their first store in Japan, and began exporting to the United States and opened their first North American showroom in 1990. Their first perfume line was launched in 1992, the same year Dolce & Gabbana introduced their men's collection. The women's collections continued to be inspired by the cinema of the 1950s. Dolce & Gabbana was seen as a refreshing alternative to the serious and somber fashion that prevailed in the 90s. Their reputation for crystal-encrusted clothing and lines adorned with trinkets made the brand a popular choice of celebrities and award ceremonies of the time. And, of course, the main silhouette of the brand, which has remained the same to the present day, is worthy of special mention. The Sicilian dress is the essence of Dolce & Gabbana, the tailor's stone of the brand. The dress takes its cue from the slip, but it's the slip that graced Anna Magnani, and it's the silhouette that graced Anita Ekberg, Sophia Loren, and so on. The straps fit snugly against the body, just as bra straps do. The neckline goes straight, but wraps around at least twice, on each side to stroke each breast, and in the middle to meet the lifting tuck that gently nudges upward. The slip doesn't just slide down, but goes into the waist to hug the figure firmly, but not too tightly, then expands to emphasize the hips, and falls down with a slight taper at the knees, to ensure that the hips sway as you walk. In 1991, when Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana presented their 1992 spring collection, which featured a lot of black lingerie, already a trademark of the brand, they were still considered newcomers to the scene. But not only were they new, they were determined to be different. In fact, notes AP, they tried to keep a distance from the sedate Milanese style that brought the Italian brand to the top of the international fashion parade in the 1980s. They did this by playing up Dolce's southern heritage. He hails from Palermo, and winking at national stereotypes. Dolce & Gabbana's clothes take their cue from old-fashioned Italian classics, Vogue wrote when introducing the brand to readers in 1985. Their inspiration? Sicilian women in particular. Or, more precisely, a whimsical and cinematic version of sirens and nonnas, sunshine and clothing lines. The Catholic imagination, as curator Andrew Bolton put it, is always alive in Dolce & Gabbana's work and establishes the dichotomy of good girl and bad girl, which was also present in Gianni Versace's work. At the end of the show, Dolce & Gabbana literally highlighted some of their inspirations, when red sequins on black separates listed the names of screen divas, Sophia Loren, Gina Lollobrigida and Ava Gardner. The duo added a more populist touch to the Cinecittà star references, potato sack outfits, that conveyed feelings about love and sex. Madonna's book on the subject will be published next year. Some contemporary reviewers treated the idea of seeing boudoir shots on the street with disbelief. Others took it to heart. One newspaper headline read, "Image in lingerie, not just for Madonna." The pop star and these budding designers were working on the same wave of pop culture, using iconic images and tropes to their advantage to talk about the current moment, evoking a historical legacy, national, fashion, film, etc. 40 years later, this sexy collection may seem more relaxed than it was at the time, but it unmistakably remains a strong and pure expression of Dolce & Gabbana ethos. Glory to the women.
I would trade.